Yeah, look at this, bro. 235,000 views 9 months ago. You telling me that they didn't check this out? Nah, bro. Yeah, look, I mean, 12,000 likes, over 1,500 comments, and a lot of really nice memories. I met Jake at Celebration in 2010. I met Jake at 2008 MegaCon Orlando. Great kid. One of my favorite lines from the Phantom Menace. It's just riddled with your guys' experiences. So let's go ahead and do this again and show Jake some absolute amount of love, because I have a feeling that they're actually going to be reading this.
Fulfill your destiny. TheorySabers.com.
Our first sale of the year, buy one, get one free. You will get a free saber with any purchase that you make at TheorySabers.com right now. The team and I are ready to get your order, and we cannot wait to serve you. If you have any questions, we are here to answer any of them at customer support, or just DM us on our verified social media accounts. We will also be seeing you guys at MegaCon Orlando, February 6th to 9th with myself, the team. There's going to be like 10, 12 of us. Stupendous Wave will be there, as well as some other people in the community that you have definitely seen online. We love you guys. We hope you have a great day and enjoy the video. Code is 2025. So this is a video that is extremely beautiful. I want to say this is a huge amount of progress for Jake Lloyd, because he's been off the grid and he's been suffering from a lot of health issues and mental issues that I feel like are soon coming to an understanding and a close for him, and a new chapter of his life where he can move on and expand and maybe see the amount of love that we have for him in the community. So Jake Lloyd says he's finally feeling pretty good after an 18-month stint in rehab to manage his schizophrenia. He's still a huge Star Wars fan. He just beat The Force Unleashed, which isn't supposed to be confused with The Force Awakens. The Force Unleashed. Great game. And plans to binge some of the newer projects for Star Wars Day. Be careful, Jake. The fan support for him has been immediately therapeutic. So I want to ask you guys to just flood the comments, or go to Twitter, or wherever he can see it, preferably in the comments of this video, to just maybe explain or show or talk about your love for Jake, and you want him back. Not back in Star Wars, but just back to health, and to know that he is appreciated and his work in Episode 1 has resonated with all of us for so many years. I remember I was 9 years old when Episode 1 came out, and Jake was also 9, I believe. Or, Anakin was 9. I always found myself in his performance in Jake, and I think he played Anakin beautifully. Now, we can get on to that in another video like I've done many times for Hayden Christensen, but I personally, if Jake would ever be ready and open to it, to have him at a convention where fans can actually meet him and shake his hand and talk to him, and he can see that love that people have for him, and what he's done for Star Wars and for the community. I think that would be a really big revelation for him, and a really big change, just like it has been for Hayden and Ewan in recent years. So anyways, this is an article from Clayton Sandel, and if you want, you can go to Clayton's Twitter, X, and there's an article. So you click on his article, and there's a whole transcript that he has with Jake Lloyd. I'm going to read a little bit of it and talk about it here, because there's a few gems in Star Wars, and I think Hayden Christensen is one of them. Ahmed Best is another. The ones who really got treated poorly by, back then there wasn't really social media. It was mostly news outlets and those dickheads. So for us who grew up with the prequels, we now get to give that love back to those guys who didn't get to feel it at that time. Last March, I had a chance to talk with Jake's mom, Lisa Lloyd, about her son's reality, which for the last 15 years or so has been dominated by his considerable mental health struggles. In my original story, Lisa, with Jake's blessing, told a heartbreaking and harrowing tale. It includes a 10-month stint in jail, Jake's belief that people with black eyes were watching him, and a full-blown psychotic break in the middle of a busy Southern California street. As we roll into a brand new year, however, Jake's story is looking for a lot more hopeful. I'd always planned to follow up with Jake and his mom to check on his progress. After reaching out last month, I got a call. Lisa told me that Jake wanted to talk with me directly. We ended up chatting a couple days before Christmas. I learned that a few weeks ago, Jake successfully completed an 18-month stay at an inpatient mental health facility in Southern California. As 2025 begins, he is living at a new rehab center where he's still receiving treatment but is basically free to come and go as he pleases. It's great. One of the key components of Jake's recent progress, his mother says, is that he seems to be overcoming a hurdle that for years prevented him from even acknowledging his schizophrenia diagnosis. That hurdle has a clinical name, anosognosia. It's a neurological condition that causes a patient to be unconsciously in denial about their symptoms. It meant that Jake couldn't grasp why it was important to take the medications that were keeping him from hearing voices, occasionally acting erratically and generally spiraling. These days, however, he seems to have a newfound sense of acknowledgement when I ask how he's feeling. Pretty good considering these 20 years of time that have come to an end, Jake tells me. I can now accept taking on continued treatment and therapy and my meds. Everyone's been very supportive. His mom is on the phone, gently reminds that Jake, it's been 20 years since he was officially diagnosed, though sometimes it might feel like it. During our convo, Jake sounds coherent and eager to talk, but sometimes confuses a word or veers off on tangents. His mom says that can happen more often when he's tired. I ask him to describe how he feels when he's taking his medication. I don't have the time for feeling volatile, Jake says. It is very much a cushion. Jake, now 35, good things have come from his time in treatment. Hitting what he calls rock bottom was something he says needed to happen in order to honestly take part in treatment, honestly take your meds, and honestly live with your diagnosis. At just 8 years old, of course, Jake became one of the most famous faces in the world when filmmaker George Lucas cast him as young Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode I: The Phantom Menace, released in 1999. In the article I wrote last year, Lisa firmly debunked years of internet speculation that suggest negative reactions to The Phantom Menace from critics and audiences drove Jake to quit acting and contributed to his mental health decline. Among other reasons, she pointed out that there was already a history of schizophrenia on his dad's side of the family. While Jake sometimes faced bullying at school, didn't we all? Lisa says she was mostly able to shield him from online vitriol, including an infamously called Newsweek article that criticized his acting. The article drew a sharp rebuke from another former child star turned big-time director Ron Howard. Today, Jake remains a Star Wars fan with fond memories of making The Phantom Menace, and he says interacting with other fans. At this point, I take a moment to tell him about the hugely positive response I received to the first article, which I believe demonstrates that there's a lot of love out there for Jake Lloyd. Do you think maybe they saw the video that I covered on it and all of your guys' comments? Because I remember covering a video on this a while ago, and man, wouldn't that be something? The experience I've had with fans is immediately therapeutic, he says. Right now, it's still therapeutic. It's helpful for people and healthy. It isn't something I'd shy away from. Jake says he wants fans to know he feels their support. I really do appreciate the time that's been taken on us, Jake says. I'm very appreciative. Jake, buddy, if you ever catch wind of this, man, like, we love you, we appreciate you, and we want you. I want to see you at conventions, man. I want to see you. And if that's not your thing, then I hope you feel the love online, and I hope you feel the love, permeating through the screen. And as you read the comments of so many people online, whether it's this video or other social media, people really appreciate you. And, we just want you to feel loved. Jake has for now stopped making public appearances at fan conventions like he used to, but says Star Wars is still a happy place for him. He recently watched Star Wars the Ahsoka series, and lately has been intensely playing a few classic Star Wars video games, including The Old Republic and Star Wars Force Unleashed. I want to play The Force Unleashed too, he tells me. I just beat the first one. Lisa says she is grateful that Jake's new focus is helping determining his current reality. If I may blatantly echo a Qui-Gon Jinn line from The Phantom Menace that also pops up in the new Skeleton Crew series. Jake's actually getting so much better than he was, Lisa says. It's a big relief for me and the rest of the family. We're all just thrilled that he's doing as well as he is and that he's working really hard at it. We appreciate that. Lisa says she and Jake have been going to the movies a lot lately. She credits his medication for helping him stay focused through an entire 2-hour film. Jake tells me he hasn't watched any Star Wars movies or shows lately, but says he intends to get back to that soon. I'm holding out for May the 4th with my mom, he says. Lisa confirms the plan. It will be a Star Wars day as always, she says, but I think this year we're getting t-shirts. Sounds cool. I didn't think I would read the whole article, but it's very nice. And shout out to Clayton Sandil for giving us this bit of information and an update on Jake Lloyd, because the dude is a treasure, man. Like, there was a few of the guys of the prequel trilogy that were just treated really horribly by these, like, dickhead news outlets. It was Ahmed Best, Hayden Christensen, Jake Lloyd. I'm sure there were a few others, but those were the three that really come to mind that were, like, just ripped apart by these idiots, to put it lightly. And I remember always defending the shit out of the three of them back when I was in high school, and like against even other high school kids that would like bully me and shit like that. And they'd be like, "Oh, you don't know acting." And I'm like,
Then you will die.
"Man, shut the hell up. You don't know these characters. You don't know like where the character is actually supposed to go and how these actors are actually portraying that transference into the next film, into the next character. You don't get it. That's how it's supposed to be." About his mom keeping him away from online hate, I have to say, it's online hate is an interesting thing because it's like the bigger you get, the more of a target you are, and the more people will always want to chime in and use your name for clicks or whatever it might be. And at the end of the day, you kind of have to just realize that it comes with the job. If you're a prominent figure online or whatever, I mean, in Jake's case, he's a celebrity, and you're Anakin Skywalker, it's going to come with a lot of good, and it's also going to come with a lot of, well, bad. But that bad, eventually you take it on the chin, and you just realize it's just, dogs will always bark at a moving wagon. And I think it was very smart of his mom to keep him away from a lot of the online shit because he didn't need to see that. And when you're a young kid, you take things really literally, really personally, and you don't understand, like, a lot of people might have mental issues that they're coming at you for nothing or whatever it might be. And I think for her, she probably did the best thing she could by keeping him away from that shit. Jake, when it comes to online hate, dude, just know that if you don't have online hate, you're not doing something right. So the more online hate you got, for the most part, unless you're like a freaking weirdo, I would say you're doing something right. If you don't got haters, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it big enough. So great job to his mom for keeping him away from that stuff when he was a kid, because it can be rough sometimes for kids, especially. So this is great. I'd love for you guys to just riddle the comment section with praise and appreciation, whether it's long or short, for Jake Lloyd. I have a feeling, us being as loud as we are here on the channel, and us meaning me and you guys, I feel like they do get, wind of this, especially when he said that from the praise from his last article. I mean, I did cover it, and how many? Yeah, look at this, bro. 235,000 views 9 months ago. You're telling me that they didn't check this out? Nah, bro. Yeah, look, 12,000 likes, over 1,500 comments, and a lot of really nice memories. I met Jake at Celebration in 2010. I met Jake at 2008 MegaCon Orlando. Great kid. One of my favorite lines from the Phantom Menace. It's just riddled with your guys' experiences. So let's go ahead and do this again and show Jake some absolute amount of love, because I have a feeling that they're actually going to be reading this. Let's make some actual crazy noise in the comments for him. And I hope that, whenever he's ready, if he's ever ready, I mean, by all means, Jake, Lisa, if you ever want to come on the channel and talk about Star Wars or anything, I'd love that. That'd be awesome. You let me know. You always have that invitation here if you ever wanted it. But for the most part, man, I hope you enjoy your life, and I just want you to know that all the fans, we appreciate you, and we just want you to have a good life and enjoy your life, and finish playing Force Unleashed 2. I'd recommend playing Empire at War if you like RTS, real-time strategy games. Shadows of the Empire is a great game as well. There's a lot of, before I nerd out, just want you to know you're appreciated. I'm sure if you're reading the comments, you're probably smiling at the amount of love that's being poured out, because I've said it time and time again, there is no fandom that is as passionate as Star Wars fans. And that can be good and bad. When it's good, it's really beautiful. So I love you. Love you, Jake. I love you guys watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, Jake, here's to your recovery. And I hope you do well, man. I hope to one day speak to you or speak with you or get in touch with you. As always, may the Force be with you guys. And I'll see you later.